Alrighty, y'all. Hello. We are having some fun today, so you got to strap in again because we're taking another look at the good old stuff Americans say. Yes, this is like the eternal gift, right? It just always provides. It always gives more and more ridiculousness. So let's just dive in to this insanity and have fun with it. Now, starting off, we know politicians just tend to always be focused on the weirdest things, right? They always focus on things that, seem to be the least relevant to what we actually need to focus on, right? But that's focus on something else that no one's asking for or no one's thinking about. It's pretty consistent with American politicians. Now, I'm sure you've heard the news. Greenland, right? It's already way out there, just unreal, kind of ridiculous thing that no one thought of, a couple months ago. But here we are. If you're going to say out there stuff, at least have like some sort of a believable reason, right? Nope, not here. We need Greenland for national security reasons. National security apparently hasn't been an issue involving Greenland for decades upon decades. But apparently now it does. So, this is what some Americans have been seen touting on different forums, as you can see in the Facepalm Reddit. First of all, we need Greenland for national security reasons, downvoted into oblivion, of course. Then provides some other reasons. Natural resources, climate change is going to increase the value of the Arctic sea worms. Offers a great vantage point on Russia and a perfect place to store missiles. I thought we had Alaska for that. Increased influence and power over our own hemisphere, as if the U.S. hasn't pursued that into oblivion already. They then continue, I would literally trade Idaho and both Dakotas for Greenland right now. We got to get Greenland. Wow, someone's drinking the Kool-Aid hard. For some reason, call me crazy, this is not on my radar. First of all, both Dakotas? The Dakotas are underrated. We're not getting rid of those, and Idaho is freaking gorgeous. Idaho is one of my favorite states. Just like, I don't know if Denmark's interested in giving up Greenland, or I don't know if the people of Greenland are interested in giving up Greenland either. But what do I know, right? I'm just a taxpayer. I'm not an expert politician. Coffee shops weren't even really a thing until a few decades ago. There's a coffee shop in Oxford that's been open since 1654. Coffee shops weren't even really a thing until a few decades ago, the American says. It was like this Seattle oddity that went national to great fanfare. Starbucks was highbrow, not lowbrow. Well, there you heard it, folks. You've all believed a lie and a myth. Coffee shops weren't even a thing until a few decades ago, and they were started right here in good old the US of A in beautiful Seattle, Washington, Europe, Australia, Asia, Africa, everywhere, right? Y'all don't know coffee like we do. Tell that to Lloyd's Underwriters or the Viennese or the Cafe Florian. Let's see. Well, there you go, Lloyd's Coffee House, back in the 1600s. Or, of course, you have these beautiful pictures of some of the Viennese coffee house culture. Of course, dating back to the 1600s and early 1700s. By the way, damn, some of this looks so good, right? Between the coffee and the atmosphere as well. He is so confidently wrong, he doesn't even realize that the Boston Tea Party was planned in a coffee shop. Got to throw one more in there with the Greenland. This one is pretty funny. Someone got him with a good comeback. Irony at its finest. You ready? The U.S. will make Greenland profitable. The Danes can barely make their own country profitable. You can see the wild comment right there. Profitable with 30 trillion debt, because that is profitable in American speak. All right, now this one goes back to one of the most classic telltale signs of an American in the comments. Here we go. Get ready. Sounds like socialism to me. In Finland, the cost of speeding ticket is determined by your income. By the way, I love finding out little factoids like this. It's kind of interesting, right? How different things are done in different countries. In 2002, a Nokia executive got a ticket for $103,000. Whoa. Going 45 in a 30 zone. And of course, the American quick to comment, sounds like socialism to me. Yes, because anything outside of the U.S. that isn't done exactly how we do it is definitely socialism. And the best part, he says, as he spends the last of his pay stub on insulin. Right before dragging himself to work with a high fever because he is out of sick days and gets no paid time off. And this, dear kids, is a perfect example of how to spot an American in a comment section. Yeah, these hurt because I agree with these. It sucks, right? Obviously, y'all know, like, I wouldn't be this American commenting that crap. Because it just makes you look silly. It makes you look silly when these are honestly the truth, right? Our work culture absolutely sucks and is embarrassing when you compare it to other countries. And the healthcare costs, too. Now, this one might be the most out-of-touch comment I've ever seen in, like, a long time. And that's saying something. I mean, that is truly saying something. Get a hold of this, because this is a theme I've covered very recently on the channel, something I'm very impressed by and kind of envious of other countries. But let's see this wild take that is so false. It's kind of scary. So here is the comment from Loki the DJ. America is the only country where they're teaching our kids other languages, but other countries, I doubt, are doing the same by teaching them English. Oh, who's going to tell them? Almost every country I've heard of that I've learned about, like, I'm amazed at how many people actually know English, right? You know, from Portugal to Germany to Latvia to Slovakia to Serbia, right? There are people that learn English. It's not to mention they learn other languages, right? I've literally covered this topic very recently. I think it was like a month ago, and it was people asking just random people on the street in a couple different European countries how many languages they speak. Most of them, for one, spoke English. Second of all, most of them spoke 3 languages, some of them 4 or 5, right? This is something Europeans excel in, and I think is the part I'm envious of. I think it's really cool. Here, I can safely say you learn English, right? I think you would know that. If you're lucky, it depends on the school and the state. You might learn Spanish from a younger age, but that's very rare, right? It's mostly in like the South, like the Southwest to be exact, where they do learn Spanish because they're, right by the border. But as a whole, it's not happening, right? You don't kind of touch other languages till around high school. So, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, that kind of area. And it's not something that's really pushed hard. So, a lot of students don't take it seriously and kind of do the minimum to pass, and that's it. And they drop it after school, and they forget everything they learned in French class or Spanish class or whatever. I only know a decent amount of Spanish because of my wife and her family. I can't say I learned Spanish fluently in school because that's not true. And I didn't even get to touch other languages. I really do kind of wish, I think it'd be good for a lot of things. I think it'd be awesome if we learned more languages here as a whole. True, in England, they learned Portuguese. And this is one of the best jokes I have heard in my comment section. What do you call someone who speaks 2 languages? Bilingual. Someone who speaks 3 languages? Trilingual. What do you call someone who speaks 1 language? American. Now, as you know, on this channel, I like to celebrate learning different things from different countries, and I'm a realist. I do love America, and I like a lot about this country and a lot about my life here, but I am the first to admit when there's faults here, and I'm not a believer that we are the best country in the history of the world. I think that we're good at a lot, and I think that we're important, but I don't buy the whole America bubble thing where it's all America all the time. I don't really like that. It feels weird, and it feels weird to act like we're number one in everything. Having pride in your country, okay, that's cool. Acting like you're the best and no one else is relevant, it rubs the wrong way for me. So I like learning about other things. You guys know this, and I admit when other things sound like they're better. I know every country on Earth, every country in Europe has its own problems, and none of them are anywhere near perfect either. But they do a lot of cool things, and they do some things that we do in America, but they do it better than we do. And I am like the first to admit that. I don't think there's a problem with that. I think it's really good and healthy and kind of good to learn. And I think a country so, supposedly well off like the U.S. should strive for better. But you have these, I like to call them, these kind of the good old patriots online, the online patriots that, well, they just say stuff like this. So you have the top comment that seems reasonable. Regulations give EU better food standards, better social nets, better work conditions, safer planes, universal USB-C, etc. I literally agree with all that. I think it's basically factually true. Like, how can you really, argue with that? But let's see what the Online Patriot has to say. Food is not better. That's false. It is. I have a whole series on this. The European food is definitely better. Most Americans admit this. Social nets are censored, which is fascism. 2 to 3 times lower salaries. Airbus is not safer because of regulations. Have you seen Boeing? It's just a better company. Universal USB-C rule is fascism. Let's read this again. Universal USB-C rule is fascism. What do y'all think of that? Oh yeah, referring to the censored thing, by the way, does this imbecile think social nets refers to social media? I guess education is another thing that is better. And people give hilarious examples of how the U.S. government, or states, as a matter of fact, they do censor things and ban things. Yeah, people stating obvious, like what's wrong with the universal USB-C, I think it's incredible that it simplifies most devices, because we live in an age that's digital, right? Dude, there's so many devices around the house compared to 20 years ago. I can't tell you a few years ago how much of a pain it was having all these devices and then needing 3 or 4 different cables. And of course you lose them and you found one. Oh, it doesn't fit this device. Having the same cable for almost everything in a house is incredible and you'd think would be standard. It has nothing to do with politics. It has to do with, convenience, consistency, logic. Another awesome and very direct Fahrenheit versus Celsius debate. Let's check it out. The American states, when they're looking at this map, okay, we're looking at South America, we're looking at the lowest and highest temperatures ever recorded in the continent. And of course, this map was presented in degrees Celsius, as you would expect, because most of the world uses that, right? Well, this American was the first to comment, use Fahrenheit. It's more accurate. That's it. That's it. Use Fahrenheit. It's more accurate. Trust me, bro. Another example, more numbers equals more accurate. The American I was talking to yesterday. I literally could do 1 million of these. These are literally hilarious. And I want to do more, so we will do more soon. I mean, these really make me grin ear to ear. They're so hilarious. I hope you're finding this fun. We'll end it with one more banger right here. Get a load of this, okay? You don't have to be a total war buff or history major to know that this is just wrong and absolutely hilarious. How could they swing and miss so hard? Check this out. Happy holidays. The 2025 World Hockey Junior Championships, United States. Okay. Round of applause. They kicked butt 10-4 over Germany. But it gets better. That's for Pearl Harbor. Yes, because Germany sent over Mitsubishi Zeros all around the globe over to Pearl Harbor for the surprise attack. What a dick move. That's going to do it for this one. Oh my goodness, are these always a trip? They really, really are. I cannot wait to see the comments on this. Comment some funny interactions you've had for Shit Americans Say. And you might be featured in the next episode of this. That will be very soon because these are just golden. They really, really are. I hope your new year is off to an awesome start. I really do appreciate you watching. It's going to do it for this one. My name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. Until next time, y'all. Catch you later.